welcome back, or if you have never watched one of my videos before, hello, nice to meet you. I am Jess. I haven't uploaded in a while, apologies for that. It's been a mixture of reasons. I've videoed 3 YouTube videos. In that meantime, just none of them have been uploaded for various reasons. Hopefully this video makes it from me talking at my phone to an actual real life uploaded video. We shall see how lazy I feel this afternoon. I'm working tomorrow, so if I don't get it done today, I know that'll be it, so we'll see. Obviously, since my last upload, having been such a long time, I've done a lot of knitting. I've had a few finished objects. I've been working on quite a lot of things. Just because of that, I'm not going to show everything that I've knitted since my last upload. I think that would bore you all and you'd be here all day. So I'm just going to focus on a couple of things. I'm going to focus on a finished object that I'm wearing now, another little finished object, and then just a couple of the whips that I've been working on most recently and that have been giving me the most joy, I suppose. Thinking about it, I've got a couple of pairs of socks upstairs that I've been working on that I probably should have brought down to show you, but we'll see. Just a little disclaimer, it's horrible English weather. I live in the southwest of England and it's the end of November, so the weather is appalling. It's absolutely tipping it down today outside. It's grey, it's miserable, it's rainy, it's windy. It's not stopped raining all day. I checked the weather app earlier on to see whether we were going to have a bit of let up so I could film, and it's 100% chance of rain all day until it's dark. So it is what it is. I'm not in my usual YouTubing spot. I am downstairs next to a nice warm radiator, snuggled up with a blanket, and I have no shame about it. Yeah, so let's just jump straight in, because if you follow me on Instagram, you know how excited I've been about this knit. This is my Traveller's Cardigan by Ozetta. I started this a really long time ago. I'm ashamed to admit. I started it, was so excited about the yarn, the cardigan. I was really excited, cast it on, knit like maybe like the back panel to like the sleeves when you then start to pick up the front, maybe. I can't really remember. I didn't knit an awful lot. And then I think I just got bogged down with like test knits, other things that were exciting me. I think maybe it was summer and like I just didn't really want to knit on like a thick Aran weight cardigan over summer. I don't really know, but as soon as I picked this back up, it was like my most worked on knit, and I just didn't really stop. I just wanted it finished. I unfortunately had to buy another skein of this yarn, so I was like knitting away, so excited to finish, and when I knit one sleeve, I weighed how much yarn I had left, and I just knew I didn't have enough. So I did have to order another skein, which then took time and then delayed the excitement of finishing. But when it was finished, I was extremely excited. It did come with a little bit of a hiccup in that I'd ordered these buttons, which are they're really basic, just coconut shell type buttons. I'd ordered these buttons, well actually the saga goes more than that, because I'd bought some buttons for this cardigan back in February when I was in Cornwall. We went to a little yarn store and I bought just some really cute little wooden buttons. And when I got home, I realised I'd bought 4 and I needed 5 for this cardigan. So I had to look again, and I decided on just these really basic, just coconut ones, which I think I just wanted something basic, but I wanted a sort of like wood or like brown type look on it. Anyway, I sewed one on just to see what it looked like, and then blocked because I was worried about the buttons with blocking. Being sort of coconut, I didn't know how they'd be. I guess it's waterproof, but I wasn't sure, so I only sewed the one on. Now this cardigan, being thick Aran weight and being like, it was probably October when I blocked this, but being sort of autumn weather in England, it was not very warm and it didn't dry very quickly, so it took about 3 or 4 days to dry, I think. And by the time that it was dry and I was ready to sew on some buttons, I had lost the buttons. It took me a whole week to find these buttons, and when I found them, I hate to admit, they were just on the floor in my craft room. My craft room is an absolute tip. It always is. It's forever a mess of yarn and whips and painting supplies and whatever craft I've decided that I want to have a go at now. It's everywhere. It just is. I also use it for, I do a uni day once a fortnight for a course through work, and spend 9 till 5 on that Tuesday sat in there. So it's not only got all my crafting supplies, it's also got work and notes and notebooks and pens and all sorts in it. So anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track, but they were on the floor in the craft room. So I found them. I'm in love with it. I've worn this cardigan way too much over the last few weeks, but it's nice to have a whip that I non-stop want to wear, because I've had a few little heartaches with whips recently. Finished objects, sorry, I'm talking about finished objects. I've had a few little heartaches with finished objects, not quite with the fit I want, and it's nice to have a cardigan that I want to live in it, because I'm so pleased with it. It's exactly what I wanted. This is I say Aran tweed in the colour rose, gorgeous rustic yarn. I am not really one for like bright colours. I'm not really one for in your face colours. I go for sort of greys, whites, blacks, I guess, maybe like neutrally browns. Not really one for in your face colours. So I've stepped out of my comfort zone a little bit with this one, and I love it. It's not too in your face. It's not a really in your face pink, and I think the tweed helps, because it's not, although it's pink, it's like, it's, I don't know, maybe it is in your face, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it is when I'm wearing it. I don't feel like I stand out. That's my worries. I don't want people to be like, people to see me walking down the street and be like, oh my gosh, like look how bright that is. Like, I don't want people to look that. I just want people to be like, oh, that's cute. Like, that's my vibe. And I think this achieves the bill. So this is knit in a size 2. When I first finished it, I was a bit worried that it wasn't going to have as much positive ease as I wanted, and it was going to be a little bit snug. I think it's actually got the perfect amount, really. I'm a bit of a I'm a bit guilty sometimes of oversizing clothes, and like it's just nice to have like a big baggy jumper on, you know, comfy, cozy, big baggy t-shirt. Sometimes with knits I do the opposite problem though, really. I like think that it's going to grow more than it does, or I don't know, they just end up being tighter. This I think is the perfect level of like, there's room, and it's like got that slightly oversized look, but it doesn't look ridiculously oversized. Like, it looks like it fits. When I do the buttons up, which I don't think I'll really wear it like this. I've been wearing it like this underneath like a coat when it's been really cold, but like you can see it doesn't quite sit straight. It's mostly okay, but as soon as I move it, like pops open just a tiny bit, which is a bit annoying, because like there's so much space under here, like there's so much ease. I don't really know why it does that here, but I guess it's just the fit. I don't know, it's just the style. Yeah, so I did make a couple of little tiny adjustments. Like, I lengthened the sleeves, so these sleeves do not sit like exactly where I normally would have my sleeves, like in an ideal world. Like, I like to like hands in, snuggle up type. That's me. And they do go, like they don't sit like that, they ping up. But I'm not mad about the sleeve length. Like, this is lengthened from the pattern, so that just shows you, like, I've got quite long arms. But like, I'm not mad about where they sit. They sit quite nicely. The cuff size I think is perfect. Like you just saw, like it goes onto my wrist, but it sits really nicely, and it gives like quite a nice bunch look. Yeah, so I lengthened the sleeves a little bit, and I did add a couple of decreases just going down, because I was worried they were going to be a bit wide. They're actually not. They're not at all. They probably would have been fine with no decreases, but I'm happy with how they look, so that's fine. The only other thing to note is that this yarn is a little bit rustic. The first I blocked it, and then the first time I wore it, it was a little bit itchy on my arms. It has softened up quite quickly, and it's got like a really nice like feel. Like, it's not really like stiff. It's quite like snuggly and nice, even though it's a little bit rusticy. And it's quite like, it's quite a bulky weight, I guess, but it's it doesn't feel like stiff or anything, so it's comfy. Yeah, it does bother me a little bit in points. Like I wore a vest top underneath instead of a t-shirt on Tuesday, and it itched a little bit at the back, like where my shoulders are, but that was probably for like, I don't know, half an hour of wearing it, and then that itchiness has gone away. So it does seem to like soften up quite nicely with wearing, and I think it's only going to get nicer. Like I'm quite bothered by wool normally. I have been knitting on a project that I'm not going to show you, which is the rug sweater, and I've been using Lopi for that, and I find that it's probably too rustic for me to wear, and I think if I wear it I'm going to have to wear long sleeves, and even then I'm not convinced that it's not going to itch. I am quite sensitive to yarns, like wool, 100% wool, but this is actually fine. This is fine. Yeah, probably for the first like week I just wore like little bits, like to be honest it wasn't even that cold anyway, so I could, but like I just popped it on for like an hour at home when I was just doing, and like, or just sitting on the sofa and just needed like an hour of warmth. Like it just got popped on, and then it's just softened up. Yeah, I think I would definitely knit this again. I have been kind of craving like a grey one, which is it was, so Ozetta's sample was knit in a grey colour. Sorry, I'm not actually sure of what her real name is, just that her like sort of Instagram name is Ozetta, but yeah, her sample was in a grey. I think I kind of want like a dark, like charcoaly grey, but I'm undecided whether I want to knit the same pattern again or whether I want to do a different pattern. I'm undecided yet. But yeah, highly recommend this pattern. I think it's really, really nice. She's got a similar cardigan. I think it's the I want to say it's the field day, but it might not be. She's got a similar cardigan. It's got sort of like toggle type buttons on it. Quite similar they look, but yeah, this was the one I picked. And yeah, I'm super happy with it. I think that's all I've got to say really about Traveller's Cardigan. I have got my notes here, sorry if you see me fiddling, I can't help but fidget. I'm a right fidgeter. So I will just show you my other finished objects while we're talking about finished objects. This has got an end to weave in, that's still not woven in, so it's technically not a finished object, but I'm going to count it because it's one end. I've woven in all the ends. I think I just missed one. Look how cute this is. I was a bit unsure about the bubble being a different colour to the rest of it. The colour doesn't pick up great in this weather, but like it's got little tiny flecks in it of like lighter. So I think it works because it's got these little flecks that they like, you can sort of see some of them here. It almost like ties in with that, and there's my little end I haven't woven in. So I think it looks fine with the little bubble. I did consider making one, but I wanted it to be a single colour bubble, and this is just a 4-ply, so I wasn't sure whether it would make a good bubble, so I decided just to buy a little one. Now this is just a little DK weight hat that I've knitted up as a gift for I guess a niece. She's only a little one, she's only a toddler, so it's only in little tiny head size, which surprisingly small children have big heads, but it does actually just about fit on my head. It's just a tiny bit tight, so hopefully it will fit fine on her head. This is Alpaca UK. It's a DK weight. It was just a 50-gram skein of like a hand dyed, and I can't remember if it had a colour on it. I'm really sorry, I should have got the ball band, never mind. It's really nice. It's like purple, pink, blue, and then just like tiny flecks of like, I guess they're almost white, but like almost light pink too. Like you can see a couple of little flecks, like I said before. And this is Kinross 4-ply, held double, just to make it up to a DK weight. Now I couldn't find a DK weight hat pattern that I liked. I really wanted just like a traditional like cable beanie. I don't know if you've seen from, like, if you look on my Instagram, I'm not sure if it's in on a YouTube video, I can't really remember when I started YouTubing. I made myself a cable beanie in Studio Donegal tweed, February, it must have been February I did that actually, because it was when we were in Cornwall. And I love it, like it's such a classic like like cable beanie, and that's the vibe I wanted with this. I couldn't find one anywhere, so I had to just make up the pattern like myself, but I'm super happy with how it turned out. I really like the sort of like cable, like it's really, really basic, but I think it just looks really nice. Now I did, so there is another little girl who I want to make a very similar hat to. Now she's a little bit older, she's 4, so she's gonna have a slightly bigger size hat, so I'm gonna make another one, and I think I'm just gonna do an extra cable and sort of just, this is just like a 2-stitch ribbing area. I'm just gonna do like another repeat of that to make it up to, I think, a bigger size that will hopefully fit her. And I've also got the same for her, so we've got another skein of this alpaca UK DK, but it's, the colours are slightly different, similar, like sort of pinks and purples, blues, sort of. I think the other one is less blue, I think the other one is more pink and purple. The only reason I haven't cast it on yet is because this I need some more of the sort of base colour, and I wasn't completely decided at the time whether I was going to do them the same, with like this bit the same and this bit different, or whether I was going to do both aspects different. I was a bit undecided at the time when I bought the yarn, so I only bought one skein of the Kinross 4-ply, and it's only 50 grams, so I need to buy another skein. Now whether I buy another one at the same and make them the same, or whether I buy a different colour, I'm not sure yet, but yeah, that's going to be another little Christmas gift knit. That's hopefully they can have little matching hats. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say about this, really. It's the Alpaca UK I got at the Knitting and Stitching show in Alexandra Palace. They were hosting there. They actually are fairly local to me. I don't think they have like a shop, and I don't know where you can buy their yarns from, but I would highly recommend, if you have a little Google if you're interested. They are unbelievably soft and really fairly priced as well. I think this was like £11 for a 50-gram skein, which I think is a really good price for like gorgeous alpaca yarn. It's really super soft, really nice, really nicely hand dyed. Yeah, I would really recommend that. And the Kinross 4-ply I've never used before, but again, it seemed like a really nice yarn. So yeah, that's it. What shall I show you next? I guess this one, because I don't know whether I've spoken about this one before or whether I've shown it. I don't know, I won't have shown it because it's been such a long time. I have probably mentioned about doing this before though. So again, those of you who have sort of seen my Instagram previous videos will have seen my stick season sweater that I knit for my partner. Sorry, sirens. I knit that for him quite a while ago now. I did it in West Yorkshire Spinners Craft DK. Really loved it. I am actually going to pick that up again soon and just make a couple of little adjustments to it with the fit, which I'm not happy with. But anyway, I've been really jealous because he has such a nice sweater, and I want one. So I've been umming and ahhing about knitting another stick season sweater, and I had seen that Rebecca Clow, from the Creabea knits, or Creabea podcast, or however you, Creabea, it's her pattern. So let me just start again. Rebecca Clow has currently got in testing the stick season cardigan, which matches the stick season sweater. In fact, if I remember, I would probably have popped a picture up here of the sweater I knit for my other half. So yeah, so she's got in testing at the moment the stick season cardigan, and I did apply to test it and didn't get picked, which, to be honest, I'm not mad about, because I've had quite a lot of stuff going on at the time when she put the like testing call out. I'm pretty sure I was still in her next test knit group, which was, yeah, I was already testing there, and I've had other bits going on. I've done a hat test knit since then, and I've done some other bits and bobs, so I'm not mad about the fact that I didn't get picked, because I'm still going to knit it as soon as that pattern comes out. Honestly, I'm waiting for it. I think it comes out soon, and I'm very excited. But in the meantime, I decided to knit myself a stick season sweater as well. So it's not very far along. this is all I've got so far. So this yarn is it's Filcolania Peruvian Highland wool in the colour, let me see if it's got written on the ball band because I've forgotten. Nope, it just says 281, which is not very helpful. I'm really sorry, I can't remember the colour. It's this really gorgeous like light blue colour. So the one I previously knit for my boyfriend, his is dark blue, and I thought it'd be so cute to have like his and hers. His is dark, mine is light. Now the pattern actually calls for a DK weight yarn, and I decided that I wanted a bit of thicker, heavier sweater, so I've decided to use an Aran weight. So Filcolania is actually an Aran weight. The Peruvian Highland wool is anyway, sorry. And I think it's going to mean that my gauge is slightly larger than the gauge for sort of the DK. I'm still using quite small needles, so I'm still using a 4.5. I thought it was a 4.5. Even though it's an Aran weight, to like get that really tight, nice, like warm, cozy feeling. I'm knitting a size 2, but sort of expecting that it'll be slightly bigger than a size 2. I'm hoping that it will anyway, because I wanted like a little bit of an oversized jumper. Again, same as what I was saying before. Oversized, but not like it doesn't fit oversized. It doesn't feel huge like up against me at the moment, but I think it's probably got a little bit of growing with blocking, because it's because of the sort of stitch pattern, the texture, it's going to open up a little bit, I think. And also it's got this really nice seam detail here, which will open up really nicely with blocking, and that will make it slightly bigger. I think when I blocked my partner's, the seaming that sort of runs down the back here, that never opened up very well. I blocked it twice actually. I blocked it once, just like full on block, and then I blocked it again to try and change the shaping a little bit because I wasn't happy about some of the seaming. And it didn't really help. So I think I'm taking note, and I'm going to knit a little bit more on this, and then I'm going to block just the top piece. The only bit that's textured on the 6 season sweater is sort of this bit and then the top bit at the back. The arms and the body, or like from the split for sleeves down, is or like join under the sleeves, I guess. Join under the sleeves. That bit is all stockinette. So I think if I block the texture part, like let it all open up, let the seams open up, and then just continue knitting, then it'll be easier to block when I can block it like flat like this, rather than having the whole body and having to knit like lay down like a normal sweater. Like this can just lie basically like this, and I can pin open all the seams. So that's going to go on the blocking mats soon once I've done a few more rows. I really do want to work on this because it's going to be so nice and squishy, and it would be really nice to have like, it's probably not going to be done until after Christmas because I know what I've got to do for like Christmas gift knits and stuff, but it would be really nice to have that done so I can use it this winter. I think that's all I've got to say about that one really. Obviously I've knitted the pattern before. I made some adjustments last time because it was knitted for a man. This time the only adjustment I think I'm going to make is obviously the weight of the yarn. Normally I knit sort of body and sleeves to my preference, not necessarily the length that they suggested a pattern, but I think often patterns say, you know, knit to 40 centimeters or your preferred length. I think it's sort of expected that that's what you're going to do. So yeah, that's my 6 season sweater. This one's just next to me, so I'll show you this one now. This is a new cast on. I cast this one on my birthday, which was a week tomorrow was my birthday. It was last Sunday, and I was very kindly given, I will show you because it's right next to me. I was really kindly given by my boyfriend this Knit Pro set. Now I use Knit Pro needles. I know that some people don't like Knit Pro and some people are always complaining about Knit Pro, but I'm a Knit Pro girl, no shame. You can see I'm already using some of the DPNs, but he got me this gorgeous DPN set, which I don't really have a lot of DPNs. I just use like, I've got like a 2.5, a 3 and a 3.5, and that's pretty much it. And I also would have a 5.5, but that was for the, actually that was for this. But yeah, I don't really have a lot of DPNs, so I was really excited to get this set. And obviously, if you get new needles, you have to use them immediately, just so you know. So I treated myself to a new cast on, which I just so happen to already have the yarn ready for. So this is the Honey Bucket Bag by PetiteKnit. This is my first pattern knit properly by PetiteKnit. I bought the weekend hat, I think that's which one I bought. The weekend hat with the intention of making a hat like last year maybe? A while ago now. Bought the pattern, read through it, cast on, and then I wasn't happy with my yarn choice, so I frogged it after like 10 rows and never touched it again. So I wouldn't really say I've knitted a PetiteKnit pattern before, because that doesn't really count. Like, I read it and I did 10 rows and then gave up. So it's a bit interesting, because like everyone knows PetiteKnit, everyone knows, I think like everyone in the knitting community has knit a PetiteKnit pattern. Everyone, like, if she's one of those people, I can see one of her patterns, like I can see someone's doing it and I'm like on Instagram and I instantly know it's her pattern. Like I'm like, oh yeah, PetiteKnit. Like everyone knows PetiteKnit. So it was interesting to actually finally sit down and properly knit one of her patterns, and of all patterns to knit a bag, like random. But a little context, I'm going to a wedding in December. Now I think December's a funny time for a wedding because it's not very common. So my sort of feelings about outfits and stuff are slightly different towards what I normally have for a wedding. I'm going for a little bit of warmth, coziness, comfy, and still classy, but yeah, warm. So I feel like a knitted clutch bag type thing is going to be perfect to take to a wedding. And when I saw the Honey Bucket bag a little while ago, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute, I need to knit that. So I decided, do you know what, I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to use it as a wedding bag, because I think it's going to be pretty enough. And you'll see, one of the other things I'm going to show you in a minute is also for the wedding, and they match. Some of the yarns are the same, so you'll see that's so I'm just going to pop the hat up there. It's all going to work, hopefully. I'm really super enjoying this pattern. It's got this gorgeous texture, which you might spot if you've got a keen eye. You might spot there are a couple of mistakes. Now I'm not being hard on myself, because it is what it is. Like, I've never knit this texture before, and there's a couple of mistakes, and I'm not going back, and I don't care. Mistakes happen, and it is what it is. No one will know when the bag is finished unless you've got a really keen eye and you're looking for my mistakes. And if you are, then you suck. Sorry. So this is like a really, really gorgeous, I think it's called Honeycomb Brioche. Now, you start here. This bottom bit isn't it on the DPNs, so this is what I started on DPNs to make this. I don't know why there's a like little hole there, but whatever. Blocking will save me. I'm only gonna steam block this, but even so, it will save me. It's got this really interesting like spiral look at the bottom, and then it's basically a circle, and then you knit in around just this pattern, and it's, yeah, like I said, this gorgeous honeycomb brioche type pattern. I watched 2 YouTube videos and read an article, like a blog article type thing, about how to do this honeycomb brioche, and I couldn't really work it out. Like, honestly, with the pattern notes from this pattern and then the like tutorials, they didn't match in my head. Like, they just didn't, it just did not work. I could not work out how to get the pattern to look like the tutorial. So I scrapped all the tutorials and just thought, do you know what, I know how to knit. I'm gonna just try and literally read the pattern instructions and just give it a go and see what happens. Hence why the first 2 rows are a little bit like, there's a couple of mistakes, there's a couple of little like bits where I slipped the stitch the wrong way or whatever. But as soon as I did that, I realised it was actually not that hard. It looks like it's a really complicated stitch pattern, and it's really not. It's really, really not. It's a 4-row repeat, but the rows are basically, it's basically a 2-row repeat that's just like skewed from each other, so like it's really hard to explain, like almost like bricks, like they're like that, almost. That means nothing to anybody, I'm sure. They're just like off center from each other, so each row is like off from the next row and then it's up again and off like that. I'm not making any sense, I just know I'm not. I'm gonna stop. It's super easy. It's super easy once you know how. I think my advice if anyone was gonna knit this would be just have a go with the pattern and ignore tutorials because they all seem to be wrong. She does have a video link to her own tutorial, which was why I'd found a tutorial. However, her tutorial is in not English. I can't remember what language it's in. I'm really sorry. I couldn't understand it. So, and also she knits different to what I do. So it just didn't work, even without the video, even without the sound. I just couldn't get it. So have a go at the pattern and just see, because you might surprise yourself and actually realise you can do something just from the written pattern, because I surprised myself. This is, I'm knitting this in Drops Alpaca held double. That's not actually the cool full yarn. So the cool full yarn I think is a fingering weight plus a mohair. You'll see from the other project that I started before for the wedding, I've used this yarn before, and I think it's a really fine fingering weight, and it's also got a really nice, like, I don't know if you can see, it's got like a really nice halo on it, really fluffy and lovely. So it's almost like kind of holding with a mohair, because it's got like this gorgeous fluff on it anyway. So I thought, I think I need to hold it with mohair. I think I can just hold this double and I'll achieve gauge. I haven't actually gauge swatched, nor have I checked my gauge on here, because I'm not checking gauge on that, because I just don't think it matters. It's a bag, and whatever size the bag is going to be fine for what I want. I'm just going to knit to the size that I want it to be. This circle here is not the same size as the pattern recommends, because I slightly altered it to fit what I wanted, which is fine. And I've slightly changed the yarn. The pattern still looks the same. I'm not altering the pattern necessarily. I've altered the numbers of stitches in the pattern, but not the pattern. It all still works out. It's going to still look exactly the same, just going to be a slightly different size, which is fine, I don't know if I showed you this already. The inside looks really interesting because it kind of just looks like the back of a stockingette, but like, I don't know, I don't know, the back just doesn't look like I was expecting when the front looks like that. The pattern has instructions in it to line this. I'm undecided whether that's going to happen or not. I should line it. It'll last way better if I line it. But I also want it done by the 14th of December, and I've only done this much so far, and I have work and other commitments. So we shall see. We shall see. I've got a long time on Monday of being in the car potentially, and maybe some sitting around and things. So this will come with me, I expect, and I might get a little bit of work on it. I might also take it to work with me over the weekend. I sometimes knit at work, so it might grow a little bit. It's knitting up fast in that I'm working on it a lot because I want to be working on it, but because it's like, I mean, I would consider this to be knitting up to like a fine DK, and that takes a while, doesn't it? But I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Looking forward to that finished object, and looking forward to having it at the wedding. So along those lines, I will show you the other piece, which I was going to say till last. It's right at the bottom, but I have definitely talked about this before. However, if it was in one of the videos that was deleted, maybe. I'll find it in my project book as well. So this is the Daft shawl. You'd have to excuse all the ends that have not yet been woven in. I've been trying to do some as I go, but not all of them. This is my Daft shawl. So this is another Rebecca Clow Creabea pattern. This is knit in 3 different yarns. So I've got the white here is the same as that yarn, so that's the Drops Alpaca. I've got here the knitting gift shop 4-ply. Do I have the yarn band for it? It's because I can't remember what it's called. I've got so many yarn bands just like stuffed in the bottom of my bag, and they all seem to be double Sunday and not the one I want. I wonder if it's in the middle of, oh, it's in the middle of my ball, my cake. Sorry, I'm just wasting time here. Either way, it's a knitting gift shop 4-ply fingering weight, and you can see it's, the lighting's not great here, but it's basically like a whitish off-white base with purple, yellow, green flecks in it. Really super lovely. So it's Chops Alpaca, the knitting gift shop you can see here, and then this purple is the is Rowan Pebble Island Fine. Now I'm knitting this, so it's a 4-row repeat. I'm knitting this in knitting gift shop alpaca, knitting gift shop alpaca, Rowan, and then repeat. So that for every 1 row of the Rowan, there's 2 of the other colours, which I think is creating this like nice open stripe look. And then you can sort of just see like the flecks of the purple and green and yellow. Like, I don't know how much you can see on here, but you can sort of, in person, you can see the different colours coming through a little bit. Like, not overbearing, oops, sorry, not overbearing, but just a little bit. What I really like about this, which you can't really see on camera, because it's using the Drops Alpaca, it's got like a really nice halo to it. Not overbearing though, because it's only like just less than half the stripes. So it's really nice, and I think it's not super soft at the moment. It's soft, but it's not super soft, but I think it's going to block up so nicely. The yarns I'm using here are, they are different like compositions, is that what you'd say? Like, they're made up of different fibres. So we've got a bit of alpaca, we've got a bit of wool, silk, yeah, actually, wool, silk and alpaca. But together they all contain blends of each other, so I think it's going to be fine. I was a little bit worried because I know alpaca stretches quite a lot when you block, but because it's just such a small amount and it's in between the other yarns, I don't think it's going to stretch. I didn't have the problem with the with this hat, this being alpaca and this being wool. I didn't have the problem of like the alpaca overstretching because I just didn't let it be a problem, and I think I could do the same with this. I think I can just not let it stretch too much. Now the plan with this is for it to be quite a lot bigger, which it's a little bit slow going because the rows are so long, and it's like a slip stitch type pattern, so it's just a little bit time consuming. But the plan with this is for it to be like a big wraparound shawl type thing for the wedding, and then after the wedding hopefully I'll use it for the same sort of thing, like a big wraparound type shawl rather than like a scarf shawl. So yeah, it's coming along really nicely. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with my yarn choices, which took me a really long time to decide on, but I'm really happy with what I picked. It's coming along really nicely. I'm really enjoying knitting on it, and I think the bottom of the shawl, sorry, like once you've done your triangle bit, the bottom is then edged, just 2 edges are edged with ribbing. Now that ribbing I'm going to do in the Drops Alpaca, so hopefully it'll match really nicely with the shawl, with the bag, sorry. So yeah, we'll see. I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully it all ties together and makes a lovely winter wedding outfit for me. Obviously not my wedding, before anyone gets any crazy ideas. And I've just noticed how long I've been actually chatting absolute nonsense about knitting, so I'm going to show you my final piece, which is the fluffy ass brioche cardigan by Clara, I guess. I'm really sorry if I've got that wrong. If I've got that wrong, like, I cannot tell you how much I apologise, and I will correct it in the comments, on the screen, whatever. I'm really sorry if I've got that wrong. This is my first attempt at brioche, so if you're going to have a go at brioche, why not have a go at a brioche garment. Obviously this is a honeycomb brioche knit, but this I only started on Sunday. This has been going for a couple of weeks. It's a little bit confusing right now because I've got ends everywhere and I've got balls attached and whatever, but I will show you. This is the cardigan. I'm kind of at this point where I don't love it right now because it needs a button band, and I know that as soon as that button band goes on, I'm going to adore this piece. But as with cardigans, you can't just add the button band as you go. Like with a sweater, I always know as soon as I've got the collar on, I'm going to love it. Even if I've only done like the front and the back top half, I'm going to love it as soon as I've got the collar on. I feel like it's going to be the same. As soon as I've got that button band done, I'm going to be excited. But I haven't yet, and I can't yet. So I don't love it right now. I love the squishiness, I love the colours, but it needs a button band. It's honestly like the biggest squish. Like I wish I could just pass this through to you and you can just have a squish, because it's like the squishiest project I've ever worked on. Fluffy ass brioche cardigan is the best name because it's so true. I have had a bit of fun recently with like messing with different yarns and like not using the yarns that the pattern suggests. This one I've used the yarn that the pattern suggests, which is the Petite Wool by We Are Knitters. I've got the ball bands here, look at me go, it's like I know what I'm doing. So I'm using what I think is natural, which is just the like white as my main colour, and then I think this is called Sky Dreamers. That's what the yarn label says. It didn't ring a bell when I read it out, but that's what the yarn label says. The yarn labels are weirdly a bit different between the two, so I wasn't actually 100% sure. Sorry, I keep saying because I'm just thinking about what I want to say about it. Right, I'll explain. I'm knitting on the sleeve at the moment. I've been working on it today. I've just picked it up today, in fact. Last night, actually, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? I'm knitting on a sleeve. I am not 100% sure I'm going to have enough yarn, or how much yarn I'm going to have. So I've decided to start on the sleeves, even though the body is nowhere near finished. I'm going to knit on the sleeves. I'm going to knit one sleeve to the length I want, and then weigh the yarn to see how much yarn the sleeve used up, just so I know how much I've got and how much what length I can do the body, because I'm not really sure yet. I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, it's my first time doing brioche, so it's been a little bit of an interesting road. I've already learned how to pick up dropped stitches when I've made mistakes, which are not actually from dropping stitches, they're from doing the stitches wrong and then purposefully dropping them to then pick them back up correctly. Yeah, it's super nice. I'm kind of in love more with the inside, which I'll show you the inside. Like, it's so cool. It's one thing I love about brioche, is like the inside looks different. But yeah, I'm not mad about my choices, and I can't wait to have this finished, and it's going to be like the warmest, snuggliest, comfiest cardigan. I can just see it. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this, and it's knitting up fast because it's big, thick, chunky yarn. I'm not one for normally knitting chunky. My preferred yarn is probably a DK. Then I guess maybe Aran and fingering weight, probably tied, like depending on the garment, depending on what I'm knitting and stuff. Like hats, I'm quite happy to knit like a lighter weight hat, and yeah, anyway, this is on 8mm. I had to buy these needles especially for this project because I didn't own 8mm needles, because everything I work on is 6 or less pretty much. So I bought some wooden needles, but yeah, I'm really enjoying how fast it's working up, which is cool. That one was a little bit of a flying tour through that brioche cardigan, but yeah, thank you for joining me. If you've stuck to the end, I appreciate you so much. I only this morning was thinking about how like people who sit through 1 hour videos of like knitting and crocheting and stuff are heroes. I do it too, so I'm a hero clearly. I will happily sit and watch 6 hours of people talking about their knitting, but I feel like I'm crazy. And if you have stuck through to the end of this, I appreciate you so much. You are a hero, and please like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever. I really appreciate it. Go follow me on Instagram. I appreciate you, and thank you for letting me just chat about my knitting. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.